Okay, I know some of you who adore this film will probably hit the dislike button and send a lot of hate comments below this video, but before you do, just hear what I have to say and know that this is my opinion, and everyone is entitled to his or her opinion, and this video falls under fair use. With that said, I will begin. And I want to give a big shout out to one of my Patreon supporters, the Kingdom Muse, aka Keyblade Crusaders, for her support on my content. Thanks, Kate, you rock. Pocahontas was Disney's 1995 33rd animated feature film. It was inspired by the Native American woman and portrays a fictionalized account with a historical encounter with the Englishman John Smith and the Jamestown settlers that arrived from the Virginia Company. When this film was released on June 23, 1995, there was mixed reactions from critics and from the audiences who praised its animation but criticized heavily on its story. This film's racial overtones and historical inaccuracies also garnered a mix of condemnation and praise at the same time. Now, at its box office hit, Pocahontas had grossed out over $346 million worldwide, which has seen as a disappointment compared to the gross film of the recent film. Disney actually hoped that Pocahontas would be its masterpiece in the making. Disney has put their time and effort in this film, and I mean they put their time and effort in this film. I mean, the animators, the art stylists, the whole 9 yards did their hardest to make this film stand out. I mean, the artwork is truly phenomenal. I mean, I like how they try to make the blue, the pink, and the orange, and a little bit of the yellowish hue color in the background of the environment to make it more lifelike in animation standards. Disney would hope that Pocahontas would give them its successful Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, since the recent film, Beauty and the Beast, have been nominated for that. Now, the songs and the scores of this film was done by the very well-known Alan Menken, and introduction of Stephen Schwartz, who is well known for making other musicals and making scores for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Wicked, and The Prince of Egypt. Now, despite this film's beautiful artwork and its animation, there's a bit of a downfall in this film, which I've stated before. As a lot of you who did not know true American history like I did, Pocahontas was actually considered 12 years old when she met John Smith, and John Smith wasn't this handsome, muscular blonde that we all knew and grew up with as a kid, but he was actually a brunette who was old enough to be Pocahontas' dad. Yeah, sorry for ruining some of your guys' childhood, everybody, but you have to know this cold, hard truth soon enough. So, even though that Disney had tried to make this film stand out more, they've done so many flaws in this film as well. Like, they still couldn't compare it to trying to make it more kid-related animation entertainment while they're trying to make it more adult-like as possible. So they try to mix the two together, which I think, in my opinion, this failed miserably. But I would go on and on about this statement, but I think a lot of reviewers have already done this for me, so I'm just gonna leave it to that I just do not like that they're trying to mix it with both kid humor and adult humor at the same time. Now, I'm sorry, and I know I'm probably gonna get hate comments for this statement. I just don't buy this whole Romeo and Juliet interpretation of this film. I would go ranting on and on about how I despise it, trying to make it so much like Romeo and Juliet, but like I said before, I think somebody else has already did the job for me. And I'm sorry, I do not buy this whole typical romance between John Smith and Pocahontas. I saw these characters' romance a bit rushed, and I thought John Smith in this film was a little bit of a creep around her. No offense to all you John Smith fangirls out there, but I'm sorry, it's just a cold hard fact. Now, as for the rest of the characters, I honestly do not know what to say about these characters. I don't see any reasonable explanation on how I feel between the rest of the characters. Now, despite the characters and the story plot flaws, and I mean, the story plot flaw is very, very bad in this film. I mean, super bad, and super cheesy, and super typical. But that doesn't mean that this animation of this film is bad. Far from it. It is truly admirable. It is truly, truly something that they're trying to make this film look more amazing and breathtaking and more superior to their recent films like Snow and the Seven Dwarfs or Cinderella or even Sleeping Beauty for that matter. Now, Alan Menken and Steven Schwartz made very good, tremendous musical scores like Colors of the Wind, though it was a little preachy, but it did have a good message. And the Savages song, even though it describes two sides going at war, it still had this silly and goofy interpretation, which I kind of find a little bit annoying in the song. But the score of this film is truly something that you could easily remember from this film in a heartbeat. Now, like I said, despite good animation and good song and good musical scores, it's still not enough to save a film that has bad, inaccurate historical interpretation. This film kind of started the downfall of the Disney Renaissance era, as a lot of Disney fans would probably know this film actually was the one that started the avalanche of the fall of the Renaissance. Now, I will admit, Pocahontas is a movie worth looking into, only once in a grand while, but it still isn't worthy enough to be watched over and over and over and over again. Now, I will admit Disney did their best trying to make this film stand out more, but little did they know a certain film that was working alongside with this film, which, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, which I will review in another time. That film has become a very pop cultural film that Disney did not expect for it to gain. While Pocahontas, however, well, it got of a A-okay review kind of category. So Pocahontas is an A-okay movie, but not the gem that Disney actually expected and hoped it would be. I am Ben Maza, may the force be with you all, and have a good day!